What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some numbers that have come out from retail sales from Target and Walmart, also PSA launching their power packs, and a new feature in their app that allows you to get cash right away. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Daily Nonsense content. Let's get into the episode. Now, I believe the saying goes, if we don't learn from history, we are forced to repeat it. And when I see headlines like this, it just reminds me of like the COVID era and like 2020 and 2021 within sports cards. So Target and Walmart, which I don't know, I guess I'm not sure. Boardroom tweeted this out, and I'm not sure why they're doing joint statements necessarily. Maybe it's just both companies did statements, but they're reporting that they could do upwards of 1 billion sales in trading and sports cards within the next year. And it feels like I've seen that before. It feels like I've seen that headline before, back way back in the day. Now, what this means for the modern era of sports cards is that, like, we have seen a huge increase in the production. We've also seen a huge increase in the price of some of the boxes, whether you're getting hobby or retail, which, if you're going to Target or Walmart, you're getting retail. We've seen increases that I don't think equate to the industry being better necessarily, because I would, if the prices are going to increase for the sports card boxes, I would hope that the product would then increase in quality, which it has not. It I think that's pretty obvious to a lot of people that are buying product and buying, maybe even cards on eBay. There are just so many more of them to buy. And there are conflicting narratives when it comes to buying boxes at Target or Walmart, because I feel like I see some people saying you can never find them, they're never there. And then I feel like some people are like, they're always there, which, granted, if you are going, you have to kind of find out what day the restock is. Like at my Walmart, it's Wednesdays. So, like, again, I don't mean to talk about bowling every single episode here, but like before my bowling leagues during the winter, which have started, I go to Walmart and I see what they have. And that's just because I know that Wednesday is like the restock day. Now, whether I buy anything really kind of depends on if I need cash to do brackets at bowling. It really, I don't know, it kind of depends. But like I said, I feel like there is an interesting narrative that, like, people can't find these boxes. And I have also seen that a lot of people have only been able to find boxes. Like, it feels like there's also another side of this argument where people take pictures of their Targets and Walmarts. And granted, it could have just been a restock day. I think people's individual experiences with these types of things, and just within sports cards in general, are very catered to, like, when they're going to Walmart, when they're going to or Target, or when they're buying cards, or if they're going to shows. Like, everyone's experiences within this industry and everyone's opinions on the industry are formed by their experiences. So, on one hand, I get upset sometimes when I see narratives and I see things online of people complaining about sports cards, but at the same time I say, well, they could have just had a bad experience, or they could have had multiple bad experiences. Now, granted, if you're getting into the industry and you have a bad experience right away, like, that could lead you to not want to be in the industry anymore. I feel like I've been lucky enough that I have had multiple different things, multiple good times within sports cards, multiple bad times within sports cards. So for me, that's why I am kind of optimistic when I see things like this. But it is crazy to see, like, headlines that I feel like we were looking at and feel like that were coming out during a COVID era of sports cards, when the industry was going absolutely insane at that point. A story that I covered at the National that has, I guess, the beta of it has finally come out. So Power Packs, which is PSA and GameStop's repacking product, has hit beta. This was something that I knew was coming just because I at the National, it was something that was sort of announced, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they do this. Now, do I think it's a conflict of interest that PSA is grading cards and then also trying to sell them? I can see how you could argue that. I think it's no, because I feel like there's no way they would be able to do that in the industry. I feel like this industry is very quick to like call out when things are either scams or they're going poorly. So I feel like it's probably a no, but at the same time, I can see again, similar to the last topic, I can see how someone could argue one way or the other. And this news comes along with a big update to PSA's app where they are allowing customers to sell their cards directly to PSA within 24 hours of them being graded. Like you can get instant offers on most cards you're grading. Obviously, if it's like a rare card or doesn't have a lot of comps, there's probably a chance you won't be able to use this service. But if you're getting like base cards graded or any of these things, PSA is offering you cash right away, which when we talked about why PSA is such a monster in the grading card industry yesterday, this is like an exact reason why, because it gives people the access to sell their cards right away. Flipping in the industry is just something that's going to exist for the end of time, I think. And expecting that flippers will not want to grade cards anymore, I think is a little naive, or that the industry will change. Like, this industry is changing day by day and new things are being added. And if you're not on top of the ball, which if you want to be, you should probably watch the show. But if you want to be on top of the ball, you have to be keeping track of a lot of different things within the industry. It's probably one of the only industries that's like that, realistically. But if you are somebody who is grading cards and you want to sell them right away, you used to have to do the whole dog and pony show where you'd send the cards to like a group submitter, and then the group submitter would send them, and then they would all get graded, then they get sent back to the group submitter, then the group submitter send it back to you, and then you have to either sell them on eBay or any of these things now. And we talked about this as they were launching. I think they launched this like concept a couple weeks ago. We talked about it on the show. They're just making it so much quicker and easier for people to instantly get the money that they want. And on one hand, I think it's good that they are offering the quick cash for anybody who wants to take it. Maybe they're setting newer comps and they're bringing down some of the pricing of some of the cards. I mean, I know that they're using like card ladder data because collectors and card ladder are there. I think card ladder is owned by collectors, which also owns PSA. So they're using that data. So I don't think that they're getting this data from random places. But like I said, I think the downside is maybe they're starting different comps, or I don't know. I just don't really see that many downsides of it necessarily. But I just wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these cards then end up going into repacks, because that is what PSA is trying to do, I think, here with this offer. I think from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense to buy these cards like literally that you have at your facility. Like you don't have to go anywhere to buy cards. They're already at the warehouse or wherever they've been graded. And if you accept the offer within 24 hours, they don't go to your vault. You just can get the cash for the cards. And from somebody who wants to make money in the sports card industry, I think that this gives people not an edge necessarily, but it gives people a way to make money faster, which then will hope, I guess, in theory, would then lead to maybe more grading or all of these things, or more buying or I don't know, anything. But like, this is where I think PSA is really high and way above most of their competitors, is this type of thing. Now with SGC, would SGC have done something like this if PSA hadn't bought them? Maybe, but like I think that's, you can't really say one way or the other if that would have happened. But I think with PSA, they are just the biggest grading company in this industry, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. They have the money, they've got the inventory, and they've got the service that like everybody in this industry wants. That's all we've got for today's show. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's topics, and come back here every day to the Sports Card Nonsense YouTube channel for more daily nonsense. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.